Something has changed, not suddenly nor dramatically, but slowly and quietly, in a way that is easy to miss if you are not paying attention. The people around you are not as sharp as they used to be. Conversations feel shallower, attention spans feel shorter. And the older you get, the harder it becomes to find someone who can hold a real discussion about anything that actually matters. You have noticed it, you just have not said it out loud. Society is getting dumber. And the terrifying part is that almost nobody sees it happening, including the people it is happening to. Here is something most people will not admit. Intelligence is not fixed. It is not something you either have or you do not. It is something you build through effort, discomfort, and sustained thinking. And like any muscle, it shrinks when you stop using it. Most people have stopped using it, not because they chose to become less intelligent, because the world around them was redesigned quietly and deliberately to make thinking unnecessary. Every time your phone gives you the answer before you have had the chance to search for it yourself, a small piece of your thinking ability goes unused. Every time a short video summarizes a complex idea in 30 seconds, your brain gets the feeling of understanding without doing the work of actually understanding. Every time you scroll through content designed to trigger a reaction rather than provoke a thought, your mind is being trained to react instead of reflect. This is not an accident. The systems around you, the apps, the platforms, the media, the entertainment, they are not designed to make you smarter. They are designed to keep you engaged. And the fastest way to keep someone engaged is to make everything as effortless and as stimulating as possible. Thinking is not effortless. Thinking is uncomfortable. Thinking requires you to sit with a problem long enough to actually understand it rather than just react to it. And we have built a world that punishes that kind of patience with boredom. But the apps and the platforms are only part of the story. The deeper problem is that most people have chosen comfort over growth so consistently and for so long that they have forgotten there was ever a choice to make. Think about the last time you had a conversation that genuinely changed how you saw something. Think about the last time you read something that made you uncomfortable enough to question a belief you had held for years. Think about the last time you sat with a difficult idea long enough to actually work through it instead of moving on to something easier. For most people, that answer is a long time ago, and this is where it gets uncomfortable, because the people around you who seem less sharp, less curious, less capable of real thought, they did not wake up one day and decide to stop thinking. They just kept choosing the easier option every single day. 1,000 small choices to be entertained instead of educated, to be comfortable instead of challenged, to consume instead of create. And those choices compounded. That is what nobody talks about when they talk about intelligence. It is not a single dramatic moment where someone becomes less sharp. It is a slow accumulation of days where thinking was optional and comfort was available. The scary part is not that it is happening to the people around you. The scary part is that it is happening to all of us. Stay with me, because this is where the story gets important. In the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire was the most powerful civilization on Earth. Rome had the best roads, the best armies, the best architecture, the best legal system, the best engineering the ancient world had ever produced. At its peak, Rome was home to over 1 million people. It had running water, public baths, libraries, theaters, and an economy that connected 3 continents. By any measure, Rome had figured it out. And then something shifted. Not an invasion, not a plague, not a single catastrophic event. Something quieter and far more dangerous. The Roman leadership began to understand something about controlling large populations. If you keep people entertained, fed, and comfortable, they stop asking difficult questions, they stop organizing, they stop demanding accountability, they stop thinking about anything beyond their immediate pleasure. So they gave them the Colosseum. They gave them gladiator fights and chariot races and public spectacles so overwhelming, so viscerally stimulating, that the average Roman citizen had no desire to think about the slow erosion of everything that had made Rome great. The Roman poet Juvenal called it bread and circuses. Give the people food and entertainment, he said, and they will give you their freedom without even noticing. And it worked. The Roman citizen became progressively less engaged with the world around him, less interested in civic life, less capable of sustained thought, less willing to endure any discomfort at all. The empire did not fall because Rome ran out of soldiers. It fell because Rome ran out of people who cared enough to think. The barbarians did not destroy Rome. Rome destroyed itself, one distraction at a time. Now look around you. The Colosseum is in your pocket. It is open 24 hours a day. It is free. And it is specifically engineered by some of the smartest people on earth to be as impossible to put down as possible. The bread and circuses have simply been updated. The result is the same. Here is the truth that most people are not ready to hear. The dumbing down of society is not being done to you against your will. You are participating in it. Every time you choose a 30-second video over a 30-minute conversation. Every time you let an algorithm decide what you think about next. Every time you mistake being informed for actually understanding something. You are making the same choice the average Roman citizen made. The choice of comfort over depth, entertainment over thought, the easy dopamine hit over the slow burn of real understanding. And just like the Roman citizen, most people will not realize what they gave up until it is already gone. The saddest part is not that people are becoming less intelligent, it is that they are becoming less aware that it is happening. The trap is most effective when the person inside it has stopped wondering whether they are trapped, but you are still wondering. That is why you are here, and that matters more than you think. So what do you actually do with this? The first thing is to understand that you cannot opt out of the world that has been built around you. You cannot delete every app, disconnect from every platform, and live in a cabin in the woods. That is not the answer. The answer is to become intentional about where your attention goes. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Not your time, not your money, not your connections, your attention. Because everything you become is shaped by what you consistently pay attention to. If you give your attention to things that require nothing from you, you will slowly become someone capable of nothing. If you give your attention to things that challenge you, that make you uncomfortable, that force you to think, you become someone capable of almost anything. The second thing is to protect your ability to sit with discomfort. The world is specifically designed to rescue you from discomfort as quickly as possible. Bored for 30 seconds. Here is something to watch. Confused about something. Here is a simple explanation that requires no further thought. Every time you let that rescue happen, you weaken the muscle that makes deep thinking possible. Start letting yourself be bored. Start sitting with questions longer than feels comfortable. Start finishing things, books, conversations, ideas, instead of moving on the moment something easier appears. The Roman citizens who saw what was happening and refused to participate, who kept reading, kept debating, kept engaging with the difficult questions of their time, those were the people who carried civilization forward when Rome finally fell. This is what Stoic clarity is for, not to make you feel superior to the people around you, but to make sure that while the world is being pulled in one direction, you are aware enough to choose another. If that is the kind of thinking you are here for, you already know what to do.